So we have picked up the judgment from the Employment Appeal Tribunal this morning, and we have at the moment just a physical copy of the judgment. As expected, really, it's a very disappointing judgment. Richard Page has lost his appeal in both cases, both with regard to the Lord Chief Justice and the Lord Chancellor, and also with regard to the NHS Trust. I've read the judgments quickly at this point, but let me just read a few lines for you. Remember, this is the way in which the judge interprets the facts. But look at this. The broadcast words were as follows. So this is the act that Richard Page is accused of as bringing the judiciary into disrepute. The broadcast words were as follows. My responsibility as a magistrate, as I saw it, was to do what I considered best for the child, and my feeling was therefore that it would be better if it was a man and a woman who were adoptive parents. Mr. Justice Chowdhury says, on the face of it, those words do not include any allegation at all against the respondents being the Lord Chief Justice and the Lord Chancellor. Even when read with the immediately preceding introductory remarks made by the reporter, this is in the BBC report with regard to discrimination of Christians in the United Kingdom. Richard Page is a magistrate in Kent who works with the family courts. Last year, ahead of an adoption hearing with a gay couple, he expressed a view that resulted in him being suspended and disciplined. I'm going to move across a couple of pages in the judgment where Mr. Justice Chowdhury says this. The final matter being relied upon in bringing proceedings is the claimant's apparent indication by his remarks that he does not intend to abide by his judicial oath. His statement that it was his responsibility as a magistrate to do what was best for the child, and that it was better if it were a man and a woman to be adoptive parents, does suggest that he would regard an adoption by parents who did not fit that mould less favourably, irrespective of the evidence before the court and or the law. That, in our judgment, is potentially a very serious flouting of the judicial oath. It is a matter which is quite properly severable from the complaints being made by the claimant. The position can perhaps be compared to an employee who, in the course of making a relevant allegation, reveals that he has or is about to breach some important rule imposed by his employer. And what is the judicial oath? The judicial oath is this. I acknowledge and undertake that it will be my duty to administer justice according to the law. Remember, in family law proceedings, you always have to consider the best interests of the child. That my actions as a magistrate will be free from any political, racial, sexual or other bias. That I will be circumspect in my conduct and maintain the dignity and good reputation of the magistracy at all times in my private working and public life. That I will do right to all manner of people after the laws and usages of this realm, without fear or favour, affection or ill will. And it's interesting that in this judgment, the words, so help me God, are missed out. The way in which we should respond to these judgments, I hope, is as follows. Let's love and support Richard Page. Let's appeal this case. We're not finished yet. We're going to go to the Court of Appeal, God willing. We'll carry on for as long as it takes. How should we respond? By keep on speaking up. By saying clearly, because this is something the judgments want to do, they want to say this, that your view on marriage, your view on the best place for children to be raised, has got nothing, is severable from your faith. It's a prejudiced view that's severable from the Christian faith. You can be a Christian, but to say that because as a Christian you believe that marriage is between a man and a woman, or that children do best with a mum and dad, or that you're born male and female, is not connected, and in fact is prejudicial. These are prejudicial acts that make you partial, not impartial. How can you swear a judicial oath if you believe these things? They also want to separate the belief from this fact, from believing that marriage is between a man and a woman. They want to say that these things aren't connected. Well, let's not be ashamed of the fact they're connected. Let's not be ashamed of the fact that Jesus Christ is the source of all truth, that all things flow from him, that in him and through him all truth is bound together. He's the Alpha and the Omega, that when society lives according to his plan, to his purpose, to his beauty, then society flourishes. We won't be silenced. We're going to keep on pressing on. Join us. Join the movement that is unashamed of the gospel at the heart of this nation.